Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 2 of Travel Scrapbook 40 on my website, me and my Cricut. It's Colonial, Williamsburg. We did a 2-week road trip and the album was so big I divided this into 2 different videos. So picking up, there are design space links for all of these pages on my website. If you go there, there'll be a link below. So let's continue. This is the Wyeth house. Inside, they used very bold colors to decorate in that day. So there's blue and the dining room was green. This is the front entrance. Look, this is the wallpaper. Most interesting. So because of all the frames here, I decided to use this old-fashioned looking frame with an old silhouette. And I put some silhouettes up here. I did a scallop border down here. And then this white image I used as a background border all across the top, and I used it behind this frame as well. Put my title on it, and framed all these pictures in the same style of frame and added photo corners as an old-fashioned touch. So that's that page done. This is still in the house. This is the living room and the I think it's a dining room, and there's a bedroom. A lot of rich coral in this, red in this house. So I picked this style frame and cut these photos into ovals because it was a curvier frame. It would show more of the pretty paper by doing that. I then used an old-fashioned type frame for the title, and I lifted that. I did flowers on both sides and lifted that. I found these pretty scroll flourished corners, so I used them here and here. I put a kiwi lane underneath here, and then this is just a store-bought border. This image is from Reminisce in Design Space, but I actually tell you the names of all the cartridges where all the images come from on my website, so you can go there to find out anything you want to know. So this big picture I put in the same frame and added some brads, and then this lovely image at the bottom. It all looks very very traditional. So next we're at the courthouse. So these are the outside pictures at the courthouse. Some more wagons. They're everywhere when you go there. So this is the exterior. It's quite a large building. And there aren't very many images of court or, to do with this. So I just found some scales, and referring to the scales of justice, and a judge's mallet. So that's all the images I could find for this. So I ended up doing pretty frames on the page and borders, background borders of different papers. So then we went inside the courthouse, and inside this gentleman gave us some information on it, and he did a trial, and my husband was chosen as the defendant. There he is, pleading his case, and then my brother-in-law was on the jury, so it made it more fun for us. So this is just coordinating papers that I found. So I used kiwi lane here as well, along the side, and then facing top and bottom along there as the background. I put a store-bought border and here, and here. Now this is a coordinating paper, and I just cut the circles out, and I shadowed them. I matted them there, and I tucked them here and there around the page to fill in the space. So other than this frame and the title, there isn't any Cricut stuff on this page, so it was really simple, but it worked. This is, I shadowed this title. That's a new feature in Cricut Design Space if you don't know about it. It's called the offset. You can now shadow all your type or any image you want as many times as you want. It's wonderful. I love this offset feature. So here we have, after the courthouse trial, outside they had the stocks. So my husband and brother-in-law got in the stocks and we took pictures of them for fun. So with this page, I just did some border along the bottom, a cloud paper for the background, this paper for the main background, put a big circle there, and banners, a large banner here and a shorter one there. I then used the offset feature again for this title in the stocks. I did it in the blue and then in the white, so I did it twice on this title. I did a grouping of embellishments here, another little grouping here, and another one here. So it was a fun page. Cute photo. Now this is the Fife and Drum. They came along. It was like a parade. So I found another image of a nutcracker to put on here, stood him on this drum, repeated the drum over here, and found some flutes. Then I found a little boy image, a drummer boy, and this is the staff that the parade master, I guess, does. I found some musical images of flutists. And that's a fun page. I used the tartan again. I don't know, I always think of tartans when I see drummers. All right, this is a bus stop in Colonial, Williamsburg that takes you back to the entrance so you can leave. So at the end of the day, I was standing at the bus stop. So I really like these lamp posts, and so I found some old lamp post images in Design Space, and then I did a bus because it's a bus stop. I did this square frame on each page, a red and a white one. Then I just used blocks of paper, repeating them on both pages. This is the coordinate of the red. This white block is embossed. Because it's plain paper, I embossed it with a clock image for time, the passage of time. And I used this as a stripe coordinate on both sides as well, and a fancy circle doily type on each diagonal corner. So that finished that page off. There was also an Indian trading post there. So on this page, I did Kiwi Lane, scallops, and wavy borders across this way. And then I repeated the same up here. I just reversed the order. Fit these pictures in by cutting them in a circle and an oval. I could fit more in and show more of the pretty paper. This image of an Indian is from Thanksgiving, and then I found some more Native American images, tomahawks and that to go with this. This was really interesting, that the trading post, this sign too I found in Design Space. So that was great. So this page is Bassett Hall, which was, this is their home. This is the Rockefellers had a house here. So that's their place. Now, on this paper, I coordinated these two for backgrounds, and I chose this because of this tree, all the colors in that tree. So that became my color theme for the page. I just trimmed away the leaves and the petals here to tuck the photo underneath. And added some gems. There's a lot of shimmer on this paper. It's glittered, so it looks nice. So this is all glittered. This was on another sheet of paper in the pad, so I just trimmed it out, fussy cut that, and put that on there. Created a couple of borders, and then cut a frame in the same paper as the border. Added some leaves as a corner over here, and a bird on a branch up in that corner. Added some gems around, and that's kind of pretty. I like it. I like pretty paper. That's becomes an obsession. Okay, now this page is more street scenes again. I couldn't get enough photos of those horse and buggies. They were great. You could hire them to take you from one end to another. This is an interesting sign that was on a building. There's some more signs. This image here, I believe, was a card in Design Space. And then I found some horses, people riding horses. I think this is from Summer Olympic cartridge. So I used Kiwi Lane in the background at the bottom here in the brown. And then I used their brackets for these images here, inking the edges so they would show up nicely. And here's another bracket under there. This photo I lifted up on foam too, as well as the sleigh and the horses. It's a great trip. I highly recommend going. Okay, so now we have the printing house and a blacksmith shop. So this is the printers at work. And so for this, I did scallops top and bottom on opposite pages, and then I reversed these. So I did the exact same frame, but I used this orange paper for the frame, and here I used it on the bracket. And then on this page I used the plaid for the frame and the bracket on the other page. So it just creates interest to me. Now I put a title, Blacksmith, an anvil, some tools, and a hammer. Things that he would make and that tools he would use on this page. I added some enamel dots. And on these books for the printing house, I wrote on here Colonial, Williamsburg. So I like the way that turned out. Now we have the Capitol building. So this was the seat of government building. It's quite an impressive building, very large. And I had chosen this paper for a background, and it had some sunflowers on it, so I went with a sunflower theme. I found this polka dot paper, so I used it for a background border, about 4-inch border here. Then I used the block of it, probably the rest of the sheet, over here as a background. Put these sunflowers, sprinkled them around the page, and added some soldiers guarding the Capitol building. And some enamel dots sprinkled around there too. Fun page. Okay, this is the inside of the Capitol building. Now, inside there's a panoramic photo and it's like a dining room table with a chandelier over it, but it's quite large. So I used a chandelier over here, and I used kiwi lanes up top, and these are called Cascade from Kiwi Lane. They're just border shapes. So the images I chose were, this was the seat of government here, so I did an American symbol here, and money, because they handled the cash for the city. And then this is a building, a government, looked like a government building. So I used that. I again used the offset feature in Design Space to border my title, to shadow it. Now this is more of a residential part of Williamsburg. So this was a beautiful arbor that ran along a sidewalk. It was quite lengthy, and it was so pretty. We were taking pictures of it, and then here's a white wrought iron fence. So that gave me a theme. And then I found this beautiful paper, so I found flowers, images very similar to the flowers in this paper. So I used the fencing, the bench, which is in here, and trees. I created a little scene over here and added sprinkled flowers across the page, and did a wrought iron fence above here, like this one. I think it's pretty. Now, this page is daisies. I just picked a daisy theme. So I had this beautiful daisy paper, and there were beautiful images of daisies. They may be sunflowers, but I did them in the colors of daisies. There were new images, frames in Design Space, and I just love these. I think that's so beautiful. 3 random circles. They're not even lined up properly, but that's the way they're cut. Very pretty. So I made a very pretty page. Here's a well. So I did an image of a well on top of a banner here. And this paper, this is in the corner on the paper, and this was a coordinating paper here, so I used it over on this side. And then this paper I repeated on both sides, just a block of it. So I love this page because I like the flowers, I guess. Next we have a gunsmith. This was a shop in town. So here's his shop and some of his tools, and there he was at work. So I used a wood grain here because of a lot of wood in these pictures. And then I just used some scallops and brackets to decorate this page with. Did some rifles. I found, this is a frame, Gunsmith, it says on the side. I found that frame in Design Space, I think. I might have made it, but anyway, it'll tell you on my website where it's from. And then some rifles I did leaning on the photos. So that's that page done. And this is the Armory. Lots of weapons. Wasn't a safe time around those days. So these were out in the field off one of the streets, and there these men go out and they set off the cannons. It's quite noisy. So this gave me a theme. I have cannons here, a border here, and a separate cannon there with the cannonballs piled up. I did some banners to decorate these pages, coordinating banners on each side, and then up here I put a title and shadowed it twice. So that's very bold. They're bright red cannons. So it made the page very bright and colorful. So I like that. And this is a tavern. It's in Williamsburg. There's old taverns all over. There's so you can go there for lunches and dinners and whatnot. So we did have our lunches there each day, and there's just one day we're at the tavern. So this is a beer, just because they were pubs. King's Arms, Good Eating. Here's Weatherburns for wine. They had all different kinds. So I just did some Kiwi Lane borders top and bottom. And then I did some brackets hidden tucked behind them on each side. And some circles with some beer mugs, and just lined up some random photos of eating out in restaurants for that. So that's the end of this album. I hope you enjoyed the trip, and I hope you go to Williamsburg yourself one day. It's a great trip. I recommend it. Thanks for watching.